Hello, this is a mic test. Hello. Yeah, I just restarted PyFire because I had no idea what I was doing. I couldn't undo the things that I tried. So I restarted PyFire, but because of that, OBS lost my mic. So I had to restart OBS. Should be fine now. PW link inputs. Okay, there's input. I don't see what the different ones are, but that's secondary. So the main thing I want to do is create a virtual microphone. Okay. So maybe that's where I went wrong. Instead of trying to create a microphone, I was doing audio sync. So instead of sync, oh, and I think this part was also wrong. I'm supposed to link to playback or something. But for now, let's just do what I was trying the first time. Audio sync, but instead of audio sync, we're gonna do audio source. Okay. So now PW link inputs, PW link outputs. I think I might have done this wrong. Maybe it does need to be a sync. Okay, so now if I do PW link Google, let me play the video. Outputs, Google Chrome output, PW link Google Chrome output, front left to browser sync playback, front left. Okay, this should work.
logseq handle the organizing for you. We'll see how this specifically works in a moment. But first, I
think it's
wanted
working
to note
now.
that logseq is what's called an outliner. This means that everything in logseq is written in bullet points. Each bullet is called a block, and the block is the atomic unit in log.
I got it to work. Woo! Okay. So now if I'm playing audio from the browser's audio is captured by OBS and sent to stream.
logseq, and it's a very important concept that we'll get more into later. What's important for you to know now is that you can indent by
Okay, so my notes were not bad. The only problem was I didn't note it correctly. So this one was supposed to be playback. I think, yeah, playback. Browser sync, playback, FO. Cool. Okay, so now I am just gonna close this, exit, detach, exit. Okay, so I'm just gonna watch the video again.
different updates about all of your respective projects. Where would you store those updates in one? What if I told you that there's a better way to take notes?
audio is not playing. That's weird. Is it because Google Chrome? Okay, so because I stopped the playback, Google Chrome playback is gone, so now it's not getting forwarded again. It's like every time Google Chrome's output stops, the device disappears, and because the device is disappearing, I lose it from stream. So I'm gonna keep playing this for some time. PW link Google or
that has not only completely changed the way that I think about note taking, but has effectively supercharged my ability to be organized and productive at work. Let's jump into it. What is logseq? Well, logseq is what's called a personal knowledge management application, or a PKM for short. And that's basically just a software tool that looks like a second brain, assisting you with 4 increasingly complex aspects of note taking: storing notes, retrieving notes, organizing notes, and connecting ideas. In my experience, if you're looking to take good notes at work or at school, you're going to want a PKM that's good at all 4 of these things. In fact, every single take notes. In today's video, I'm going to introduce an amazing program called logseq that has not only completely changed the way that I think about note taking, but has effectively supercharged my ability to be organized and productive at work. Let's jump into it. What is logseq? Well, logseq is what's called a personal knowledge management application, or a PKM for short. And
I think this might be way too quiet on stream, but I can't tell.
that's basically just a software tool that works like a second brain, assisting you with 4 increasing. There's a better way to take notes. In today's video, I'm going to introduce an amazing program called logseq that has not only completely changed the way that I think about note taking, but has effectively supercharged my ability to be organized and productive at work. Let's jump into it. What is logseq? Well, logseq is what's called a personal knowledge management application, or a PKM for short. And that's basically just a software tool that works like a second brain, assisting you with 4 increasingly complex aspects of note taking: storing notes, retrieving notes, organizing notes, and connecting ideas. In my experience, if you're looking to take good notes at work or at school, you're going to want a PKM that's good at all 4 of these things. In fact, every single time that I've failed to build a good note-taking system in the past, it was because I've settled for an application that can't do all 4 of these things well. To understand what makes logseq
all
so
of this is introduction, but I want to know
I want to compare it to some examples of other apps that I've tried that have fallen short of this standard. And for context around some of my decisions here, just noting that I'm a working professional and that I sit in back-to-back meetings all day long.
Let's go to installing.
To show you how logseq self-organizes, first we have to get it installed. Head over to logseq.com and download a copy, and then install it. The first time you open logseq, it'll prompt you to choose a folder to store your notes, and then logseq will create your first graph. Again, think of a graph as a unique notebook or a workspace. And that's it. Once your graph is created, you're ready to begin. The first time you open your new graph, you'll notice that you've been brought to a journal page for today's date. This is on purpose. The creators of logseq recommend that you just start typing your notes into your journal page each day, and just to let logseq handle the organizing for you. We'll see how this specifically works in a moment. But first, I also wanted to note that logseq is what's called an outliner. This means that everything in logseq is written in bullet points. Each bullet is called a block, and the block is the atomic unit in logseq, and it's a very important concept that we'll get more into later. What's important for you to know now is that you can indent by pressing the tab key, and unindent by holding shift and pressing the tab key. Indentation will associate every child bullet with its parent. This is also going to be important a little bit later, but hold that thought. By the way, you may have noticed that I've oh so conveniently...
I kind of like this, but the thing is I also prefer using headings, but it's meaningless in logseq because even if I have a heading, the bullets are not children of the heading. The heading stands out by itself, so I still need to indent after typing the heading, and I don't quite like that.
This is also going to be important a little bit later, but hold that thought.
It's like I need to use I use headings because I prefer headings, but then I still need to indent for it to become a child of that heading. It's not great to look at actually. Where's my logseq? Oh, close logseq. Oops. So I should probably stop pausing so much. Yeah, every time I pause, I think browser sync is dying.
Another wonderful offline note-taking app called Obsidian out of this conversation so far. Obsidian is honestly, see, every child bullet is the atomic unit in logseq, and it's a very important concept that we'll get more into later. What's important for you to know now is that you can indent by pressing the tab key, and unindent by holding shift and pressing the tab key. Indentation will associate every child bullet with its parent. This is also going to be important a little bit later, but hold that thought. By the way, you may have noticed that I've oh so conveniently left another wonderful offline note-taking app called Obsidian out of this conversation so far. Obsidian is honestly another really good PKM, and I like it a lot. The main difference between Obsidian and logseq is that logseq is meant to be an outliner, and Obsidian is not. The notes in Obsidian are, by default, in normal paragraph form. In my experience, that logseq is an outliner by default reduces the friction of data input that I feel with Obsidian, and it just makes it easier for me to just jump in and start taking notes without thinking about it.
That is true, that is true. I like having it in bullet points.
Okay, so now it's time to see why organizing notes with logseq is so much different. As we've been chatting about Obsidian, you may have noticed that I've been entering the notes from my morning meeting. This is the first step for my workflow. I just open logseq and just get some data in there. In fact, as we keep talking, I'll go ahead and get the next business day in there too, so we have 2 full days of notes. Each of the project managers in my meetings are talking about their project and are going through their updates quickly. Remember, with OneNote we struggle to plan out where that information should go, but with logseq, we don't have to think about it at all. That hesitation to figure out where the notes should have gone is called friction, and friction is what causes note systems to fail for me. As soon as I get too busy, the system breaks down, and the amount of work it takes to get it going again just becomes insurmountable. So now that we've started to use logseq to take our daily notes, let's now suppose that I need to prepare a report on one of the projects for my boss, and I need all of my notes from one of my project managers about it. One way I could find that information is the traditional way, through searching. To do this, click the magnifying glass at the top and start typing in your search. logseq has a very fast search. When there's a topic or a concept or a project that I'd like to come back to again, I won't just use the search though. Instead, I'll create a new dedicated page for that concept. One way to do that is to type the name of the concept, such as Project POS here, into the search, and then click the new page option at the top. From the instant that this dedicated page is created, logseq will start tracking any reference to the title of that page. To see these references, click the arrow next to Unlinked References. What's cool here, and one of the benefits of taking my notes on my daily journal, is I can not only see my references to this project, but I can see what days that I made them, and it's tracked automatically for me. And notice too that the child blocks that are indented underneath are included in the summary as well. Hopefully, you can already start to see how I might use these references to prepare my report for my boss about this project effortlessly.
I have been shouting since 2023 that learn ChatGPT, learn AI tools. Many people follow.
Next, I'm going to head back to the daily journals though and show you an even faster way to manage your pages. When I'm taking notes, I want to move quickly, and this means I don't always have time to click the search and manually create a page. So you can also quickly create pages by adding double square brackets around your text, and logseq will automatically create a page for that text if it doesn't already exist. And then clicking on any of the links will bring you to that page. One additional bit.
Wait.
This means I don't always have time to click the search and manually create a page. So you can also quickly create pages by adding double square brackets around your text, and logseq will automatically create a page for that text if it doesn't already exist. And then clicking on any of the links will bring you to that page. One additional benefit of doing it this way is that you'll have these references show up in the linked references section instead of unlinked. I prefer this section so that I can look for items that I intentionally linked to this page. This also gives you the benefit of filtering the references to find specific information. On this page, I could filter to see a specific time range, for example. So now that we have some pages, let's start working on that report for our boss. She wants to know the project.
Okay, so this is where I stopped watching. So I think what I was supposed to do is create the page.
Goal, the key milestones, the progress to date, and the next steps for the project. Some of this we can just go ahead and type. By the way, I like to bold my headings using Markdown. As I type in some of the key milestones, I'm also actually going to link to.
So you're using Markdown, we just make it bold. You're not using an actual heading, which is what I do.
Future journal pages, and they're going to show up for me as reminders on the day of when I open this in my daily journal, which is really nice. Then we get to the progress to date and the next steps, and as you can see below, I've already typed that information once into my daily journals. And a good practice when dealing with data is to only put the same piece of data in one place. If you recall, this was a problem that we had with OneNote. In OneNote, we would have had to copy and paste this information onto multiple pages. Instead, with logseq, I can.
Okay, hold on a second. What happened to my data is missing. Nextcloud's not logged in. Why is Nextcloud not connected? Is my server down? No, it is not. Can I get logged out or something? That's weird. Oh, I think I got logged out. Login. It's weird. Okay, I'm just gonna quit. Exit. Exit again. Oops. Exit. Okay, there. Now it's working. Incoming file transfer ownership from KS. Sure. Okay, now my next cloud is working. Might have to do this again, but first open the local directory, Nextcloud. I think I didn't sync it. Settings, stream. Don't have it. Where is the file? I don't know my password. Oh, I typed it correctly. Cool. But now I need to find my file. Where is it? Oh, it's weird. I thought I had the file. So it's on my other account. I'm gonna have to share it to myself first. So let's see, where is it? Seed shares up there. Where did I keep it? Notes. Bash, okay, that's the one. And it is not shared with me apparently. Okay, I have shared it with myself from my other account. Should be coming in a second. There's part receive shares. There it is. Settings. Okay, it's automatically synced. Cool. Oh, it was open over here. Receive shares in Bash. Bash has been received, so now I can open this graph. That is the graph I wanted. That's the one I'm working on. I mean, that's the one I am studying, so to say. Okay, those are my notes for Bash, and
copy the reference to the block in my daily journal, paste it on this page. When I do that and press enter, I'll see the reference text, and you'll notice that it links to rec to date and the next steps. And
now that I think about it, it becomes a bit louder when I'm playing it over here.
as you can see below, I've already typed that information once into my daily journals. And a good
Do I have my monitor for browser sync on? No, I don't. Weird.
practice when dealing with data is to only put the project goal, the key milestones, the progress to date, and the next steps for the project. Some of this we can just go ahead and type. By the way, I like to bold my headings using Markdown. As I type in some of the key milestones, I'm also actually going to link to future journal pages, and they're going to show up for me as reminders on the day of when I open this in my daily journal, which is really nice. Then we get to the progress to date and the next steps.
That's pretty cool, but I don't think it's going to apply to me, so... Oh, still, that's cool. Because I'm not really doing anything that's time-based in these notes.
And as you can see below, I've already typed that information once into my daily journals. And a good practice when dealing with data is to only put the same piece of data in one place. If you recall, this was a problem that we had with OneNote. In OneNote, we would have had to copy and paste this information onto multiple pages. Instead, with logseq, I can copy the reference to the block from my daily journal and then paste it on this page. When I do that and press enter, I'll see the reference text, and you'll notice that it links directly back to the original source. This makes it quick and prevents rework. I also want to mention while we're here that there is the key milestones, the progress to date, and the next steps for the project. Some of this we can just go ahead and type. By the way, I like to bold my headings using it once into my daily journals. And a good practice when dealing with data is to only put the same piece of data in one place. If you recall, this was a problem that we had with OneNote. In OneNote, we would have had to copy and paste this information onto multiple pages. Instead, with logseq, I can copy the reference to the block from my daily journal and then paste it on this page. When I do that and press enter, I'll see the reference text, and you'll notice that it links directly back to the original source. This makes it quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at the pages I have. All pages. gonna make this bigger. Redirection of meta character. That's something that I've been thinking about. What reserved word operator variables function name. A lot of random pages. Didn't really think much because I didn't know how to use this, to be honest. Okay, let's see. I think I had something for quoting. That's weird. I thought, yeah, it is a new page. Okay, let's go to the quoting page. Oh, I don't have anything about quoting yet. Okay, then we shall do something about operator, maybe? Okay, operator. There are two types of operators. Okay, first of all, an operator is not a word. Okay. Okay, I can copy this. This is useful. So, oops. Okay, so how do I do that? Clicking opens it. Okay. Copy block ref. So an operator is not a word. Word is also another page, so I'm just going to leave it there. And what other nodes do I have? I have two types. So I am going to copy this block. Types. I will say two. Two types. Enter child. Paste. Okay, what else do we have? Steps based on quoting rules and meta character break into operator. This one, okay, that's not necessarily needed here. Every operator is or starts with a meta character, is not a word. Okay, it is a token. Okay, so these are children's steps based on the definition. What is token? Is this a separate block, or is this like So an operator is a token, and because it's a token, it's a single unit of the shell. That is already somewhere else. That's already copied from somewhere else. Copy block ref back. Okay. So now I have a page.
I also want to mention while we're here that there is a third way to create pages. Instead of double brackets, you can also use the hashtag. In logseq, both of these methods work the same way, the double bracket and the hashtag, but I prefer to use the hashtag only for statuses. For example, I'll make the project status here delayed. By doing this, I can access easily any project with that status. But at the end of the day, how you use these pages is up to your own personal preference. Another thing that I want to mention is that logseq supports all kinds of plugins. I'll probably make a separate video about some of my favorites, but I do want to showcase one today. If you click on the jigsaw puzzle piece and then choose the marketplace button, you can explore all the wonderful plugins that are available. Today, let's search for the plugin called To-Do List and install it. This will install an icon in your top menu bar that has a little check mark in it. I love this plugin because it ties in with the next feature that I want to show you, to-do lists. Do you remember at the beginning of the video when I rolled out task management apps like Todoist for my work productivity system? Well, that was actually because logseq has its own that ties really well into my workflow, and I prefer to keep everything in one app. Let's head back to today's notes and pretend that I have an action item that I need to complete that I learned about in my meeting. By typing the / key and the word to do, I can create a block with a checkbox that represents an action item. Also, take note that this task will also appear in my checklist when I click on the plugin we just installed. This is why I love this plugin so much. If I want to remind myself about this task on a future date, do you remember the trick that we learned earlier where we could link to the future journal page? We can do that here too. A quick way to do it is with another slash command. You type slash and search for the date picker command. This pops up a calendar and you can select a date to link to. I prefer to do this versus typing it. To-dos also will alternatively let you use slash commands called schedule and deadline to assign dates to your tasks, but I just prefer to use the date picker and reference the page directly.
That's the only reason why you are not able to speak in English fluently, because कभी भी अगर आपको इंग्लिश में बात करना होता है ना तो आपको ये सिखाया.
Instead of typing to do, I wanted to also call out that you could call your action item doing, or click it to change it back and forth between to do and doing to assign a status. And if you prefer, there's also the now and the later flavor of this that you can use if you prefer that instead. Checking the box in either your journal or your to-do list will clear that task from your list. You can even assign a priority to the tasks with slash commands A, B, or C, and these will be filterable in your to-do list too. It's pretty neat. Personally, I just keep it simple and I use to do for everything, and then I check it off as I go. But I love that logseq is flexible if you do have more complex needs. So thus far in logseq, I've opened it up, I've started typing notes, and I've created a few pages as a result. Let's say that I want a quick way to jump to a specific page that I will reference often. Maybe a page, let's say, that lists all of my projects so that I can access them quickly. I might even want to link to the project statuses to quickly see which projects are in those statuses. Well, I can accomplish this by simply creating the page, clicking the three dots in the top right corner, and choosing Add to Favorites. You'll see that it will appear in your left pane. Speaking of panes, another cool feature in logseq is the right side pane. You can hold shift and then click on any link to send it to the side panel. I typically send my daily journal over to the side panel, and then I can click around and find information in my notes in the main panel as I need to as well. And also just wanted to note that you can edit your daily journal directly in that right side pane. It is not read-only. The last thing that I want to talk about before we move on is a feature called templates. It's possible to select a parent block and its children and give that group of blocks a name. For example, here's a template that I typed out for my daily journal. I always want to capture notes on meetings, notes, and tasks. I'll create a template by right-clicking and choosing Make a Template. I don't want the parent to show up in my template, just those children, the meetings, notes, and tasks, so I'll uncheck that toggle that asks whether you want to include the parent block. To make the template show up every day in my daily journal, I'm going to head on up to my settings and click Edit config.edn. Then I'll scroll down to line 23 and put the name of my template in between the quotation marks. I named mine Daily Template, so that's what I'm going to put here. Now, every day when I open my journal, my template is going to pop up. I also use the templates feature in another way. So I'll head over to demonstrate this to my project page, and I'll create a template for every new project page that I create. Notice that it has markdown and links to pages and everything included. Same steps as before, I'll make a new template, and this time I'm going to call it something to do with my projects. Now when I head over to my project pages as I create them, I can type that slash command and template to trigger the template command. Logseq is going to prompt me to pick a template that I want to insert, and then my template will magically appear. I use templates for project pages, meetings that always have the same agenda items, and more. It's a super useful feature. I mentioned earlier a fourth quality to a good personal knowledge management system, and that's the ability to connect ideas. As I mentioned before, logseq does this the way that a human brain does, by associating related ideas. To see this, click on your graph view. You can visualize the pages that you've created and start to see how they all come together. I don't really use this feature very often in my workflow, but I absolutely see the value in being able to see patterns, trends, and connections in your notes. I see this as being incredibly helpful for writers, students, and researchers especially. Okay, so we've gone through all four of the qualities of a good PKN, and I've shown you how logseq applies them all. Now to summarize and kind of put it all together. I supercharged my productivity and organization at work by first ditching all the other software that couldn't rise to the challenge. Then, I simply installed logseq and started typing all of my important notes each day into my daily journal. Now, as important topics arise that I want to revisit, I create pages for them. Within those pages, I use the linked references to my daily notes and organize them in a meaningful way by using block references. For items that need a status, I use hashtags. For action items, I use to-dos and tag them with important related dates. I also use the plugin that lists my to-dos to see them all in one place and to check them off as I complete them. Finally, I use saved favorites, the search feature, the graph view, and the sidebar to access my notes on the fly and connect ideas together. With this workflow, I have a simple, frictionless way to enter notes, retrieve and organize them, and visualize related ideas. Do you use logseq? Let me know in the comments how your workflow compares to mine. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Also, if you found this video useful, please consider leaving a like. It really does help. Thanks, and hey, I'll see you in the next one.
I was actually curious about how the graph worked because my graph is not connected. I thought this video talked a little bit about how graphs work, but it didn't, and my graph is just a bunch of random words. Maybe it's because I've been creating all the pages wrong. Word is related to link. How? Redirection operator, word operator. Okay, should have also been related to token. Do I have token? Let me just look for the token page. How do you search? Oh, there was a search. Where's my search button? Oh, here it is. Search, it's Control K, token. Okay, so now let's skip to main content. So a token is a single unit by the shell. Yes. Copy. Loggraph. Paste. And two types. Oops. Two types. Two types are word and operator. Just realized I might have typed something wrong under operator. Oh no, I did. So it's control operator and redirection operator. Yeah. Two types, control or redirection, aka token. Okay. So token is either a word or an operator. Now, how does my graph look? Does it? Okay. But I don't. Okay. Operator should also be associated with redirection operator, but it wasn't. Maybe it's because I didn't type it in manually, so that's not very great. Maybe I'll type it manually. Two types, control operator and redirection operator. Okay, I don't need the hash. So now, how does my graph look? It looks weird, but let's see. So operator is a word. Okay, operator is not a word. That, okay, doesn't really do much over there, does it? There's no way for it to know. It's fine. Definitions. I want to actually change the name of the page. I'm going to read the 2.0. Just going to leave it as definitions, yes. And then go to the actual journal page, and 2.0 will be part of the heading, not the name of the page. Okay, was this another one? Okay, yeah, that's another block. Cool. Okay, time to go back to studying and taking notes. I started looking into quoting on May 25 and then I didn't do anything, so we're going to change it to today. Okay, what chapter is quoting? And how do I open my book? Okay, can I change this to dark mode, annotations, outline, area, highlight, one settings, dark, color label for highlight. Okay. Is there a scroll? Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good enough. Okay, now we're going to look at coding. I don't remember which chapter this is. I went through all this. Okay, it's chapter 3.1.2. Okay, coding. So something interesting I noted about this is that you can code three types of coding. So 3 ways of coding are using the single, what's it called? Quote, double quotes, backslash, and it is not what happened to the backslash? Oh, backslash. No, it's backslash. Okay. Okay, logseq is dark. And yeah, that's good. It is not a meta character. It was quite interesting because meta characters separate words. So quoting, it doesn't separate words, actually tokens, yeah, tokens, words or tokens. I'm just going to do token. Okay, quoting can be used to remove the special meaning of certain characters or words to the shell. Quoting can be used to disable special treatment for special characters, to prevent reserved words from being recognized as such, or to prevent parameter expansion. When the history command is used, the history expansion character must be quoted to prevent history expansion. There are 3 quoting, okay, these are called mechanisms. 3 quoting mechanisms. I'm gonna copy this, copy, paste. Yep. That's not how you do it. I need to highlight it first. 3 quoting mechanisms. Highlight, paste. It's in a different order over there. Maybe I will do the same. So escape, single, and double. I'm thirsty and hungry. I might have to take a break. Okay, there are 3 quoting mechanisms: the backslash, the single quote, and double quote. It is not a meta character, so it doesn't separate word or token. But what it does do is it removes special meanings. So a meta character becomes character. History expansion also becomes a meta character. History expansion, I'm gonna call it disabled history expansion character. non-quoted blank backslash is the bash escape character, so it can escape, it can quote reserves the literal value of the next character that follows with the exception of new line. That was interesting actually. Okay, so this is heading level 3, 3.1.2.1. So something I don't understand is it possible to change the escape character? A non-quoted backslash is the bash escape character. Okay, so it's not possible to change the escape character. Should I mention that it's not supposed to be quoted? When unquoted, preserves the literal value of the next character that follows with the exception of new line. Okay, if a backslash new line pair appears and the backslash itself is not quoted, the new line is treated as a line continuation. So what happens if you have a line continuation that is quoted? I'm curious, let's see. Oh, I don't have my keys loaded. Oops. That's weird. Oh, was using the wrong ID. My bad. Get at. I don't have everything set up in this account. I thought I put it on GitHub, did I not? Well, it's not here. Repositories. It isn't here either. So I put it in Git then. Let's go and try cloning and see if it's over there. Oh, it was on Git. Actually meant to put it on GitHub, but I guess I left it on Git. Oh well. Okay, so I'm gonna do something that makes my life easy. I'm gonna create a new script. List args. Okay, and first thing we will do is echo. Just do the whole thing in the loop. For arg in oh, this would not work in shell. Also, I'm learning bash, so it's pointless to use shell. For I in 0 2, I cannot use a variable in this, so I have to do sequence 0 number of arguments, do echo, escape that, I backslash t. Should I do with printf? No, with printf. Printf percentage, sorry, $, that's going to be a digit, tab string new line, and the digit is going to be I in direction I, and then we coat everything. Done. Okay, for I in sequence from 0 to the number of arguments, do printf. What happens if you do sequence of 0 with no ending? Sequence 0. That's not ideal. So if I do sequence 0 0, oh, that's fine, that works. And yeah, that's what I want. Cool. For I in sequence 0 0, do printf %d I, and the indirection of I should give me the value of that argument. Cool. So switch mode plus x list args wdp, don't have it, pwd. Oh. Okay, export path is equal to path with pwd at the end. So if I do list args, hello, good, that's what I want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do hello line continuation world. So that's two separate ones. What happens if I code it like this? Wait. I am confused. Okay, there I understand. This is coded, right? Okay, what if there's no space here? Was it talking about quoting or escaping? The backslash is quoted. So it's not about quoted, it's about the backslash being escaped. Because I don't think this is right. I don't think this has been worded correctly. If a backslash new line pair appears and backslash itself is not quoted, the new line is treated as a line continuation. So instead of this, what I'm going to do is list args hello. Wait, should I be doing this in bash? I should be doing this in bash. List args. Okay, Okay, list args backslash unquoted backslash quoted backslash hello quoted world. So even though the escape character was within quotes, it did what it was supposed to. So what happens if it's escaped? That's when it breaks. Wait, what? Okay, so this is because quotes preserve new line breaks. Interesting. Preserve the literal value of the next character that follows, except I think I have something called new line. Yeah, except new line. Except when followed by new line. That is line turns into line, should I say treated as line continuation. Okay, so when it is backslash new line is removed, which is why if I were to do list args hello backslash new line world, it's shown as one argument without spaces. Okay, so what happens here is, I'm gonna copy this. Let me just check if my code is right. So bash command echo 1, if I run it with hello new line without a space, escape character world, that's weird. That was supposed to get line continuation. Why did it not? Simple command bash c echo hi, simple command with one argument echo 0 one line. A bash command with multiple arguments. Yeah, why did it not work? Bash c echo 1 and then I'm giving it the argument hello world. Oh, it goes into 0. It starts with 0 and then it goes to 1. Don't do that. My bad. So this is just gonna be dash because I don't particularly care. Okay. So now I'm gonna copy this. So now the output is hello world in 1. But if I do it like this, I would only get hello, I wouldn't get world. Okay. Okay. Well, okay, could put indented. I don't know how to. Whoops. So if I right click on this maybe. Tab. Nope. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm gonna cut, enter, tab, paste. Okay, backslash is the passkey character. When unquoted, preserves the literal value except when followed by a new line where it is treated as a line continuation. Okay, I kind of want to see what happens on the page. There's a bunch of link references. Now, if I were to open the graph, not the graph again, okay, not what I wanted to do. Just a page graph. There is nothing else. It just says quoting. Why is it by itself? Okay, quoting has 3 mechanisms. I think that knows it. I want it to move. So if I don't use ref, what happens if I try doing something else? So why does it not have its children? Weird. Oh, okay. So okay, copy block embed maybe. Still nothing. So it's like, even if I use block refs, it doesn't forward it. I mean, it doesn't get copied to the graph view. So I tried block ref. Let's try while. No, I don't think that would work either. No, there isn't really anything else. Copy or export and remove emphasis, remove tags, remove ruler, level all. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my page, today's journal, and quote everything except cannot contain. Let's also add appears in pairs. We'll probably create one eventually. Quotes everything except itself, cannot contain the single quote even when preceded by backslash. 3.1.2.3. There's also ANSI quoting. I might have to say this. Why is it 3 mechanisms then? Enclosing characters in double quotes preserves the literal value with the exception of. Wait a second. Why does it not preserve the literal value of a single quote? It does. That doesn't make sense. Something is off. Not sure what. Enclosing characters in double quotes preserves the literal value of all characters within the quotes with the exception of $ single quote backslash, and when history expansion is enabled, the exclamation. Even the exclamation is exempt when it's not the first character actually, because if I were to say echo bang, it's exempt. Okay, let's try echo. Okay, so if it's the first character, Okay, so now I want to understand what they meant about the single quote. So if I were doing single quote home, it didn't do anything. How is single quote exempt? It's not exempt at all. When the shell is in POSIX mode, the okay has no special meaning within double quotes, even when history expansion is enabled. The special characters dollar and single quote retain their special meaning within double quotes. The backslash retains its special meaning only when it is followed by one of the following characters. Within double quotes, backslashes that are followed by any of those characters are removed. Backslashes preceding characters without a special meaning are left unmodified. A double quote may be quoted within double quotes by preceding it with a backslash. If enabled, history expansion will be performed unless an exclamation appearing in double quotes is escaped by a backslash. The backslash preceding the exclamation is not removed. You know, these are very confusing and they don't make a lot of sense actually. So what it's saying is if I do echo bang with backslash, the backslash is not supposed to be removed. Okay, cool. So if I were doing it like this, it isn't removed. That's weird. Why would you keep it like that? That's a very weird way to do it. Seems very not clever. Okay, I'm going to take a break. What is the format for date? There's another way I can say it by string. Date string is mostly free format, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I can use oh wait, I didn't do D. Whoops. Cool. How say I break time? I'm gonna use /cc for this /n. Ta-da! Break time. 1:30 p.m. GMT. Is that how it is? Yes, so. What's the date right now in GMT? TZ is equal to GMT date. It's fine. Okay. Okay, I actually have way too much over there. I'm just gonna do. Is it F? F is date. So H, no. But I could do H and M. And space Z. Hello, I am back ahead of schedule. This is actually cool. I was watching the Primogen stream yesterday, and I think he typed in something at 11 a.m. Montana time, and everyone in chat was like, yeah, what's Montana time? So instead you could do something like this. TZ is equal to GMT date 30 minutes. You get the time 30 minutes from now in GMT. But but then the user would, the people who are watching on Twitch will have to convert it from GMT to whatever. So, not one size fits all. Okay, coming back to this. Okay, we were looking at quoting with double quotes, a lot of it which does not make sense. Actually, you know what? I'm going to compare. I'm going to check with the actual man page, because right now what I'm looking at is GNU Bash's manual. So now I'm going to do man bash double quote string printed on standard producer. Okay, not that one. Double quote. Okay, here it is. There are 3 quoting mechanisms. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Okay. So turns out this one seems to say the same thing. Non-quoted backslash is the escape character, preserves the literal, blah blah blah, and closing characters in single quotes, it's pretty much the exact same content, but let's look at this one. Enclosing characters in double quotes preserves the literal value of all characters within the quotes with the exception of dollar. Oh, that makes sense. It's dollar backquote, backtick and slash. Where's the manual? That's not a backtick, that's single quote, right? Is there any way I can report this? That definitely looks like a quote. This is why you should check the man page's rule. Okay, let's see. GNU, no, it's the bash.gnu.org. Or not. I'm just gonna go to gnu.org. About docs, documentation principles, contribute, click here for contribution, help with Savannah, translate, could come out of without proofreading, check for package maintenance. Oh, I could do that maybe some other time. Oh, that sounds fun actually. Maybe I should just do it now. We have proofreaders. That's lovely. In talking with people who don't value freedom, we need service directory. Is there nothing about corrections? Right? Free manuals, free doc. Do one of the high priority enhancement, help wanted. I should look at. I never thought about this. Maybe I'll go join one of these things, do some work. But the main thing I want to do is look at the docs and see if there's any way I can change, like suggest the change. GNU manuals and then terminal or shell text. I think it's interface. Yeah, interface. No, it's not. Huh. Where's bash? Audio. I'm gonna search for bash. Okay. HTML blah blah blah. gendocs.sh. Okay, so I should probably just go straight to Savannah. Donate shop, join, HTML. Last updated 26. Okay, it's probably been updated since then. Just gonna go to. Where is the source code for this? Where's Savannah software? Okay, I am in software. Hardware GNU's out philosophy licenses, distros, no docs, small malware, hardware, software directory. It's not here. I'm just gonna go to git.savannah.gnu. Browse repositories with cgit. What is cgit? What is gitweb? Okay, and then I'm going to cgit. And then we go to bash. No, it's not here. Search for bash. Search. Okay, it's the GNU blah 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 blah. Okay, tree. Where are the docs? Include M4 PO tests support. No. Doc. Article built-in bash. I think this is only the basic ones. Text. Is this the full one? This is from October 1994. That can't be the one. Is it this one? No, section seems like it's this one. Scroll down, maybe I'll look for it. Coding. Yeah, this seems to be the one. Coding these from a special meaning. Each of these, there are 3 coding mechanisms: single codes, double codes. Okay. This one says it correctly though. This is a backtick. Is this the same one? Maybe I should look at blame. Commit or log? When was this updated? 2024. Guess it's been updated then. Maybe another log. Distribution and document. This is 5.2. Tree commit. This is a newer commit. Refs 5.3. 4 days ago. Hash has been updated since I started studying for the exam. Wow. Well, I didn't realize that. Oops. Okay, this is still at 5.2. But wait, this one hasn't been updated in a while though. This one's still at 22. So hold on. This page is done using gen docs. Prog is equal to basing of 0, so is there oh, this is shell, not make fun, okay. Info output will be subdirectory manual by default. Is there a subdirectory called manual in tree? Tree. It seemed like it. Email bug reports for exam enhancements to block.newlib. Okay. By default, TXC to DBI are run in the default sense language of most text info manuals. If you say set lang setting in the source, okay. So it's going to be the text e file, whatever that is. So source there, package.txt. So who's setting source there? Source there, source there, source there. Program email GNU bug emacs. What is this? Interesting. So these are default. This is for people who are actually using this. Okay, but can I see the source file is here? What about source there? Taxi source there is current working directory. Okay. Want to developer, project manager, Unix admin, doc writer, tester. Hey, I might try one of these. Okay, what I want to know is whether this has been updated. Version.txt. Oh, this is version.5.2. I'm quite confused. Commuter range. Log message. No. Okay, so there's bash.0, bash.1. What's the difference between those two? Bash.0 and bash.1. Okay, they're both raw files. Bash.info, bash.pdf. Okay, this is the man page. This is not what I want. I want to check the doc. Is there anything else? What's in bash ref? Ah, okay, so it's bash ref. That's the one I want. Okay, so in bash ref, if I go to coating and go to double quotes, coating, basic shell features, shell syntax, coating, double quotes. Aha. Okay, so this one has a single quote. So that means now I need to look at bash ref. Wait, where am I? Here. Okay, go up to doc. I think this is the input file, so it's either this one or this one. Oops. Let's also check the HTML file just so I know it's not. I'm gonna do this plain. Oh, this comes out as text. Okay, you know what? Let's do HTML. Then we go to coding, double quotes. Okay, so it's not a problem with the input. So the actual input is correct, it's just the PDF is rendering it rather badly. Because if you go to double quotes, you see this is a backtick. But if you look at the same thing in the PDF, that looks like a single quote. I mean, it kind of looks different, but you can't really tell. Anyway. So there's not really anything for me to do. Bashref.txt is the input file. Coating. So if you go into double quotes, this is a backtick. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with the documentation, it's just the way that the documentation got rendered. Okay. That took so much time. I like my coffee. Hold on. Making some plans with my friends. Okay, that is done. Okay, now that I know that this is supposed to be backtick, let's read this again. Enclosing characters and double quotes preserves the literal value of all characters within the quotes, with the exception of the $sign, the backtick, backslash, and when history expansion is enabled, the exclamation mark. When the shell is in POSIX mode, the exclamation mark has some special meaning within double quotes, even when history expansion is enabled. The characters $ and backslash retain their special meaning within double quotes. Backslash retains its special meaning only when followed by one of the following characters: $backtick, okay, $backtick, double slash, or another double slash, or new line. Okay, so there's some okay, interesting. Within double quotes, backslashes that are followed by one of these characters are removed. Backslashes proceeding without characters without a special meaning are left unmodified. A double quote may be quoted within double quotes by proceeding to the backslash. If enabled, history expansion will be performed unless an exclamation mark appearing in double quotes is escaped using backslash. That's very weird though. Why would you not remove the backslash? Okay, that's a lot of information. Retains literal value except of. Okay, what are the ones that are retained? The $, the backtick. I have a page. Oh, okay, I just changed some things. I named some pages rather badly. The backtick, the backslash, and the exclamatory mark when history expansion. Don't I have a page up? Is enabled. Okay. So for the $, there's nothing special actually. Yeah, the $, is just normal. This is also normal. Only for the dollar, the back tick, the dollar, the back tick, the backslash itself, and one more thing. Where else can we use backslash? Backslash, okay, new line, and new line. Wait, does it? Okay, so it's also applicable for otherwise, okay, oops, okay, only before all of these, otherwise retained, literally, also before okay, I'll call this even before. Okay, I think I have everything that I wanted to note then. First expansion is enabled with the double quotes backslashes are followed, retain value, except, okay, I'm gonna also add can contain double quotes, oh wait, double quotes, just that one. Can contain double quotes escaped by, okay, oops, that's supposed to be double. Okay. Special treatment of, wait, special, okay, special treatment of special parameters. Okay, so it's that and that. It does not talk about globbing. Question, what about glob? I have a lot of questions. This does not actually say anything about globbing. Within double quotes, backslashes that are followed by one of these characters are removed. I'm not a fan of this editor, it tries to do too much. Okay, I think that's it for today. I have studied one small chapter. Bye bye.